Okay. Hi there. So, look at this. Isn't this cute? Kind of feisty. um, so, today's topic is a little bit different because I went out this weekend on Saturday. Oh, no, on Sunday. Wait, what day is today? Today's Sunday. On Friday night to this very lovely techno party somewhere here in our city, which was kind of fun. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun. But I started also realizing that I'm not as much as interested in dating or sexual interaction at this point with anyone. I felt really, really happy that I hung out with a couple of girls because I just hang out in the back and I like dancing. And apparently in Spain here, people like to talk a lot. So people in Spain, stop talking in a club. Go dance. So also, this is my way of figuring out if I like you. Like, if I see someone who's really good at dancing, I would probably get close to them and dance with them. But if I see someone who's just talking and looking around, trying to look for someone to sleep with, then obviously I'm not going to be interested in talking to you because you're not here to do anything besides get sex. Thank you. No, thank you. So eventually, I hung out with a couple of girls. I never talked to them. They didn't talk to me at the first, but then we start dancing close to one another, and we caught eyes, and then we start dancing a little bit together, laughing. We start talking a little bit. I think I usually let them talk to me first because I don't want to, give them a wrong message or image of, this is me trying to hit on you or anything. But eventually, people like me dancing. They look at me, they put your hands up because I'm always dancing with my fan. But I had also a couple of like girls maybe who come in the area try to dance along because I was sitting inside a like jail cell scenario, so a very common thing in techno. And so like I'm dancing alone. There were two girls who were there, one with her boyfriend, the other one also with her boyfriend, but her boyfriend was just going around. I talked to the second girl's boyfriend a couple of times at this massive band. We're hanging out. They're very, very friendly people. The other girl was, in her definitely zone, which I really, really liked. Like she was just dancing her ass off, and her boyfriend was just there, kind of. Bit strange type of guy, I guess, because he was kind of her tail. So whatever she did something, whenever he went, whenever she like told him to do something, he just did it. Which maybe some girls like it, not me. I like someone who's a bit more adventurous. I mean, I don't really mind it if my partner goes and dances with another girl or even makes out with another girl. Like, as long as I know he's honest and is not hiding it in front of me and he doesn't ignore me just because he's here looking for sex. But if it's like we're dancing, I'm in my zone, and he finds someone and he just dances with, go have fun, It's a night out to meet people and dance. Um, but eventually, I had a couple of, let's say, people come in this circle, women first, and they did their thing. They stand in front of me, they dance, and then I don't do really anything. I get kind of distanced, and then they just walk out, which is excellent because that's their sign of like, I'm not interested. On the other hand, I had also a couple of guys who came in. I don't know if they're gay or not, but they're too hot to not be gay, if that makes sense. But one of them was brown with like a little bit of I'll not say dreadlocks, one of those tiny dreadlock scenarios. And yeah, he was my thing. Like literally, he was the type I was probably looking for. Um, he's young though, like he's obviously in his early 20s, and eventually we were dancing. I danced with him a little bit, but I think there was this miscommunication in relation to what group do we belong to, right? So I think this is why I thought they were gay because gay people usually, when they're flirting, it's like an eye contact thing. They will come to you like, and then they'll walk away. And then that's the reaction I got in Barcelona, in Berlin, in most big cities, honestly. So the way gay men flirt is very direct, very simple, very eye oriented. And then there's like a little reaction. And I don't know how this whole thing works. So eventually it became kind of problematic, I think. So we were dancing next to one another. Him and his friend took their shirts off and things were getting hot. And I'm just giggling inside, like, oh, let me blow on you with my fan. It's so hot in here. Um, but eventually it was a thing that made me think the day after, which is yesterday when I was hungover. And I was just thinking, like, who am I really interested in now? Like, I don't not like women sexually at this point. Like, I've seen so many of them. I was just jealous of some of them for some reason, like for being so brave to wear certain clothes or showing certain curves, which I don't have. And I'm like mathematically finding an equation that would make my body look a bit more feminine and acceptable for society. And definitely it's for me, for myself. It's not for people actually. But eventually, like, I've been hanging out with ladies and we're talking, it's fun. Like, I don't have anything of interest to them, which is, I guess, logical for me because now at this point, I don't have to like women or anything. So, and then on the other hand, with guys, it's a bit harder because I am afraid of men. So, I've had men do bad things to me in a certain sense. So I don't really know how to interact if a guy approaches. I usually just get like silent and defensive and a bit kind of on my toes. If I like the person, I'll, be giggly and try to kind of converse or do something, but I'm always thinking of this could also go wrong because are they thinking of me as just a male who's very feminine, or are they thinking of me as a woman? And then once they know I'm trans, they're going to get aggressive because they're cis, straight men. And that's kind of very dangerous, let's say, territory to navigate. So at this point, what would you do? I'm in a club. I don't talk to people. So this is why I like dancing. Like I've danced with people. I've danced with guys in Berlin. Berlin was a lot easier. Like I've danced with a couple of people and then I told them I'm trans. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. You dance so feminine. You look so feminine. I'm fine. Let's keep doing it. Here, it's a bit more like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how they're going to take this scenario. And this is what I'm actually dealing with my therapist at this point is that how am I maintaining friendships and how am I actually thinking of friendships or thinking of relationships? So when I came out, I kind of came out thinking I would never have a relationship. No one would ever like me, but at least I'll be myself and I'll like myself and I'll be very happy to live as I am. But then coming out and looking at myself and actually learning how to just be free and be feminine and not worry about the stigma of being feminine, and then, taking the hormones and identifying as a woman, I'm realizing I'm a lot more attractive than what I thought. Because I have a lot of people looking at me, have a lot of people approaching me, have people on the street stop their cars and ask for my number. I'm not bragging or anything, but I'm just saying I'm not ugly. And I don't have to be a trans woman or to look like a real cis woman to not be considered ugly, right? So if I'm cute in my own ways. I don't really care if you think of me as a guy or a girl. I just know myself and I know how to talk to myself and treat myself. So I expect you to be nice and to appreciate my feminine side. And if you like that, come talk to me about it and maybe we can do something and just go hang out, have a little coffee, maybe go dance for a little bit and, get to know one another. It's not a big deal. But there is definitely stigma into who would want to go out with you? Who do you think is going to approach you? Who do you think knows that you're not a biological female, which apparently is very important? It is important if you want to have kids. I don't want to have kids, and I think a lot of people with this economy is a bit problematic. So I want to think of this experience as an eye opener because I need to definitely figure out my traumas with the society. But on the other hand, it's also something that's not as simple as me and my history. It's also of me and my own body and my own, let's say, physique. When I first started transitioning, I had a lot of what do you call it? Dysphoria, dysphoria, in relation to my hips and my shoulders. But now I think after a while, I learned that it's okay to walk in a feminine way, and I don't have to walk because it's really subconscious the way you're walking. The way you think you walk is not just me walking; it's a representation of how you feel. So I decided to walk and feel and walk feminine so that I'll just be free. And with that, my shoulders, my whole chest, my whole everything, torso went upwards and kind of made me look more feminine when I walk than before when I was just forcing it to be something feminine. Right? So now when I'm walking and I see my reflection, I see that, okay, well, maybe I don't have the hips, but I also see a feminine person walking. You can call this a woman, you can call this a girl. I really do not care. I'm just looking masculine, feminine in general. I'm a feminine person, so I like to present feminine in that sense. And the only thing I see that fits, or the only place I fit in, is with the label woman, trans woman at this point, because I'm not a biological woman. I know. And this is why it's not really about me trying to be a woman. It's about me being feminine the way I want to be. And I think for society, because society has issues and doesn't change that often, it's a lot more difficult to accept me as a man who looks like a woman and blah, blah, blah. So it's a trans woman, technically a very good term. It's a biological male that literally has no interest of anything masculine or men besides maybe a sexual interaction, if that's something you're interested in. But eventually, it's I think my lack of interest now is of what I have in between my legs. So I don't have the bottom surgery. So that's a thing that's kind of keeping me away from meeting anyone. And I'm just like worried about if I actually do meet someone and I like this person, where is this going to go? Right? Like, I don't think it's going to get anywhere except like first base, second base, maybe some type of sex, but not nothing maybe with penetration in that sense, because I'll probably keep my panties on if I get that intimate. So I'll just maybe do things I think they want me to do, or things that I might want to do, but with other parts of my body that are not in between my legs. And this is where this whole dilemma comes in of meeting people and not meeting people, and how trans women, or maybe newly coming out trans women, me, not trans women, how I definitely have a bit more of an insecurity with my own body in relation to opening it up to someone I like, because I don't want them to see me as a guy. So like the guys I was dancing with, for example, the one with the kind of cornrow dreadlock scenario, kind of short, he was hot. I liked him, and I was thinking like, I'll definitely do something with this guy. But then I was also thinking like, does he like me because he thinks I'm just a gay man, so he really likes the man part of me? Or does he like me because he just saw me dancing and we just want to dance together? Or does he like me because he thinks I'm cute and feminine in that sense, and he wants to actually like have sex with me as a woman? And this is where this whole dilemma comes in of who are you attracted to and what are you attracted to? So the treatment was definitely friendly. I'm not complaining about anything about their treatment, and it's just something I have to deal with at this point of representation. Needless to say, not 100% representing as a woman in certain sense, but I'm definitely not 100%, and I'm not representing as a man either. Like if you see me walking down the street, you actually wouldn't really tell, because the way I wear clothes, like, let me show you. So the pants I wear usually have a certain kind of curve to it. And then the way I have my shoulders up doesn't really show that I have a big wide shoulders. And I do have a nice booty. So this is actually kind of fun. So if I stand here in a club just hanging out, it can be a bit unclear if it's dark and everyone is drinking or whatever. So, and I also had a couple of women in supermarkets here refer to me as woman. And they came and have conversation with me. They're a bit older, and that just makes my day because I'm wearing makeup now. So I do look feminine. Yeah. But when I go to the supermarket, all I'm doing is literally not wearing makeup, because I do not have the time to go to the supermarket wearing makeup. So instead, I go with glasses. And that hides pretty much a lot of it. I'm just kind of hiding my face, and I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to look at people, and I don't want to look at people looking at me. So eventually, the frame of the glasses kind of blocks more of the vision. And that kind of makes me a bit more calm, because I do not like when people are looking at me, which is kind of the opposite what a lot of people think we want as like trans people with visibility and acceptance and all this. I'm like, yeah, I do want to be accepted, but I just do not want people to look at me. Like, don't look at me. And also, in relation to things that happened to me before, people looking at me, usually men looking at me, did not turn out to be something good. It turned out to be violence, it turned out to be harassment, it turned out to be very negative memories that I still have and I'm not ashamed of, and I don't blame myself for them. And this is why it took me so long to come out, because I had to put this whole mask of, yes, I got this treatment, I got this interaction from these men because I should not have been presented this way. I should not have been presented. I should not have been presented feminine energy. I should not have been showing that I'm okay being feminine. And now it's like, you know what? I am the way I am, and I'm ready to die for it. Right? So it's not something that I'm ashamed of or afraid of at this point. But I do need to figure out if I want to be meeting anyone romantically or not. I'm not using any dating apps at this point, and I do have them, and I've had some people talk to me about them. But when I get into dating apps, eventually it becomes, because in my dating app, I have I'm trans woman the first thing up, and I think this is attracting the wrong type of people. Usually, just attracting men who just want to have sex, literally not interested in anything else. So I'm gonna take this label off next time. Next time I use this application and see how that goes, because I have very cute pictures that you wouldn't even tell. But just to have an interaction. But for now, I'm gonna avoid anything romantic, anything sexual for a pretty long time. And this is where this whole surgery scenario with the government system here in Spain is a bit complicated, because I'm waiting on my process to go in. I'm still using the public healthcare because I'm working here paying for it. But the surgery part is taking a very, very long time. So I don't know how this is going to go. Am I going to be waiting 10 years until I decide to have the surgery and then go on dates and actually think of romantic relationships? I'll be 40 by then. I don't think I would be interested in a romantic date when I'm 40. I'm barely interested in one now, and I'm 30. Besides that, it's also a possibility. I talked to a couple of trans women here in Spain who are dealing with someone in or some hospital clinic in Thailand, and they have very, very good experience, and it's a lot cheaper. And I'll be like doing a whole month vacation scenario slash getting the body I want and just walking freely, wearing the bikinis I want, and not having to hurt myself tucking all the freaking time because, yeah, I'm already bruised for some reason. So, tell me what you think. What do you think of this? Isn't this gorgeous? I mean, my goodness. Anyway, I gotta go.